Hello everyone, this is Wilson Burrell, and this is what's going down on Smackdown. Tonight's Smackdown came to you live from the only place where Del Rio actually has a cheering audience. Mexico City, Mexico. And while he has a cheering audience in Mexico, he still does not have a cheering audience here, which is why it was unfortunate that he was the show opener. But Teddy Long actually made that pretty exciting, because although Del Rio was trying to say that he couldn't compete because of what John Cena did to him, Teddy Long came out there and told him that he was cleared to compete by WWE's doctors. So we would see a match between Del Rio and Big Show, which honestly was exactly what Del Rio had asked for, because he said his dream was to compete in Mexico in front of his fans. So he got his dream tonight, and we'll talk more about that later, because that was the main event of the night. And then we saw Mark Henry go one-on-one with John Morrison, and pretty much no surprise, the majority of the match was Mark Henry just throwing around John Morrison, and a move that actually made me say, oh wow, was where Morrison's head was up against the turnbuckle, and Mark Henry was just pushing it into the turnbuckle. I mean, yeah, I know it's all kind of, faked and well, not really faked, but acted. But I mean, can you just think of the pain that would cause if that was really done? Having your head pushed up against a steel turnbuckle, just having your ear shoved up against it, you'd probably be deaf after that. But anyways, Mark Henry basically just showed off his strength and tried to make a statement to Big Show about this Sunday. And quite honestly, Big Show is not John Morrison. And Mark Henry is going to have to realize that. Big Show is much bigger than John Morrison, and I don't believe that Mark Henry can take on the Big Show half as well as he did John Morrison here tonight. Then we saw Christian and Ziggler teaming up. They were going to face against Ryder and Sheamus, and quite honestly, the only way that Ryder and Sheamus could win this match would be to get Ryder out of the ring and just put Sheamus in, which did happen, but after Ryder took quite the beat down from Christian and Ziggler. But once Sheamus got in, boy, it was all over. He got in, he knocked out Ziggler, took down Christian. Christian actually ran out of the ring and walked out of the arena slowly as he watched his partner get defeated very quickly by a big boot from Sheamus. So, once again, Christian shows that he is scared of Sheamus. Although last week that fear wasn't showing, this week it is. So I'm kind of anxious to see the match between Christian and Sheamus this time. I think that it'll actually be a good showing. Last time it was the only match that I missed, so I'd like to actually catch it this time. Then we got Cody Rhodes in the ring, doing what he does best, complaining about his face. And he explained that that was the reason for his recent behavior. And he actually called out Orton, which I think is a dumb idea, because Orton could beat Cody Rhodes any day. The most fame that Cody Rhodes has is that he is the son of a legend. That's it. That is the only reason why Cody Rhodes has fame. So, I don't even think that he deserves to be in the same ring as Randy Orton, to be honest with you. And quite honestly, if his dad wasn't a legend, he wouldn't be. Because he's not that good. But anyways, Orton says that he hasn't made any mistakes, and that the only mistake he's really made is that Cody Rhodes is still breathing. So, this Sunday, Rhodes may get to feel the wrath of the Viper, because he seems pretty pissed off, to be honest with you, in a non-PG form. But I really think that Randy Orton will be able to defeat Cody Rhodes in the New York Minute. I mean, yeah, they're going to drag the match out for quite some time, longer than it should be, but really, we all know this match could be won in a minute flat. Randy Orton could very easily defeat Cody Rhodes. But then the match that we had all been anticipating all week, Sin Cara Azul versus Sin Cara Negro for one of their masks. Now, the last time these two faced each other, the fans were screaming, boring, boring, and that was actually a pay-per-view. So, it was pretty obvious that this was not going to be a really exciting match. But with the stipulation that someone was going to lose their mask, the excitement was a little bit more built up. However, it didn't help the match, really, because it's just like I said before. You put two people in there with the same basic moves, you can't have them wrestle that long before we get bored of watching them. So, it really, the match was just kind of dull. I mean, if I could put it on a little bar, it would have to go straight like this. I mean, there was no high point, no low point. It just stayed the same the entire time. Just went in a straight line, no doubt. There was just nothing extremely exciting about it. But in the end, Sin Cara Azul did win, and Sin Cara Negro was unmasked, as we all most likely knew would happen. And he was unmasked to show us the same exact guy who everybody has already seen on YouTube as being the imposter. So, I figure that next week they'll probably announce who he is and everything. And that storyline will basically be ended. Except for them fighting each other now, with him unmasked maybe. And then the main event of the night was Big Show facing Alberto Del Rio. Now, I have to admit, I made a prediction here. I predicted that Mark Henry would immediately interfere and the match would be a no contest, basically. But I was actually wrong. The match went on for quite some time. Big Show dominated most of it, to be honest. But Alberto Del Rio did get off his little arm bar, a little bit backward, but he got it off at least. But Big Show was able to counter and actually powerbomb him. But then, the last person that I expected to interfere, Ricardo Rodriguez, interfered. And the match was called a no contest. But of course, Big Show met Ricardo Rodriguez with a big fist, followed by meeting Alberto Del Rio with a big fist, and then Mark Henry came out and got met with a big fist. So I think that Big Show has pretty well shown us that this Sunday he is out for blood. He is going to win at Vengeance, and he will be your new world champion. This has been what's going down on SmackDown. Please check me out Sunday. It might actually be Monday morning because Vengeance is getting in pretty late, so I might actually have to do it Monday morning. But I will have your Vengeance review on probably Monday morning. So be sure to subscribe and check me out for that.